People with divorced parents. Do you think having divorced parents has influenced your own marriage in a positive way? If so, how? Negatively here. I grew up seeing my parents be all lovey-dovey my entire childhood. I thought it was so sweet and I aspired to have the same marriage someday. Then the rug was pulled out from under me. Something happened to my mom at work and she kind of had a midlife crisis or something. Pretty much quit her job and refused to go back to work. Threatened suicide. My dad came to grab me one day when I was just gaming in my room and said I had to talk to her cause she is wanting to kill herself. So did that. I guess they divorced sometime soon after this, and they didn't tell me. I only found out while filling out my FAFSA, financial aid to go to college, when my dad was there helping me answer questions. I got to a line that asked my parents' marital status or something and I, jokingly, said y'all still married right? Haha. Only to look up and see my dad's sad face and then he told me, well it's been like 13 years and counting and my mom hasn't worked still. They never actually split up, have always been living together and pretty much arguing over everything. I am chalking it up to my dad still being in love with her but me, on the outside looking in, I'd how he could. I mean someone who pretty much gives up on the family for over a decade and counting and doesn't feel like she loves us anymore. Feels like she's just a mooch at this point and even worse she is pretty much the saying beggars can't be choosers pretty much. We lost our family home of 19 years cause my parents bought it together and when this shit happened he lost her income and couldn't make the mortgage. I did the math, if she had never stopped working, it would have been $200,000 to $300,000 additional money to our family this whole time, and I still have no idea why they even divorced. So my idea of marriage was pretty much shattered and now I'm lost. Yes, my parents divorced when I was 5, that was my mother's second marriage, actually. They each remarried a few years later, both marriages also ended in divorce, and my mother married a fourth time, and ended up widowed, and good riddance, because that dude was the same one who ended my parents' marriage. He shortly thereafter cheated on her and they broke up. But he weaseled his way back and a decade later, married her, was extremely abusive, and ended up croaking and leaving her penniless a few years later. Basically, seeing my parents treat marriage vows as disposable has made me take mine very, very seriously. I chose my husband almost strategically. Can I live with this person forever? Are there red flags? Abuse, anger, incompatibility? How does he treat kids and animals? Do I like him, as a human being? Romantic feelings aside, I've been married for going on 12 years, together for 15, 3 kids, and while it's not perfect, we are both deeply committed to this partnership and working through the rough parts. To be fair though, had the relationship turned abusive or something, I would have left. There's a small list of unforgivable behavior that would have / could still end our marriage, but aside from those things, I'll die beside this dude. Hopefully 40 years from now in a pop-up trailer on the shore of a river somewhere, in a shared double-wide sleeping bag. It negatively impacted all of my relationships because I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. My grandparents' marriage on my dad's side ended before I was born. My grandparents' marriage on my mom's side lasts but is extremely toxic and definitely reeks of one of those typical Catholic marriages. I had to make the mistake of trusting someone who treated me like shit and I didn't recognize it and also getting a divorce to know better.